The music industry can take a lot from you, your time, your identity, even your faith. Today, we're joined by a Christian artist, Yung Kriss, to talk about the highs and the lows of the music industry and how he's held to Jesus through it all.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Shieldmaidens podcast. This is the place where we hope you'll come to be raised up to be a warrior for Christ while also learning how to fight back against the enemy. And the whole time, we really just want to point you to Jesus. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Riley.
Thanks for being here today. We're glad that you're here. Every week, I feel like I say this, but we have a really great conversation, and I'm so excited to get to talk to our guest today. I think this is going to be such a fun conversation. So we're excited about it. Before we get started, though, and introduce you to him, I just want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love for you to subscribe. If you are listening on the audio-only versions, we'd love a review there. That helps us out a lot. And don't forget about our Shopify site.
That has a new address.
Yeah. Okay, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, we'll have announced it on our social medias by now, but this will be the first episode that we get to announce that we have a new website.
Woo-hoo!
And it is beashieldmaiden.com. So BEA shieldmaiden.com. Check it out.
We'll have, more than just the merch on there, but you can check that out there too. So we're excited about that. Okay.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into that. We're past the business.
Yes.
Welcome. We have Kriss, Yung Kriss.
What's going on, y'all?
Not old Kriss.
Not yet old Kriss.
As we had a conversation off camera, he's not old. He is very young.
That's crazy. It makes it seem like I came in here and was like, hey guys, make sure you tell them I'm not old.
No, that was all us.
Like Toby wasn't back there saying, hey, wait till you're old like me.
Yeah, so it was just a conversation behind the scenes. We can cut this if we need to.
That is hilarious. No, keep it. Love it.
Yung Kriss.
Yes.
Thank you for coming today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here.
This is awesome. We, for a while, have wanted to have you on. We have a mutual friend, and we're just excited today to get to hear your story and hear what you're doing, what God's doing in your life. Like, you have a really cool life.
I mean,
it looks really cool.
It looks cool from outside in. I'm like, my kids are going to be like so jealous that I get to talk to you today and meet
we're
my
earning
teenagers.
brownie points
I have
from our kids
teenagers.
today.
that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the coolest thing about my life, man, is honestly my family. A lot of people, they're like, man, it seems like you're doing this and doing that. I'm like, the best thing in my life is being with my kids. Greatest thing.
I agree.
I love
I
doing
agree
it.
too. Yeah.
It's the small things.
Do you have, they're young, aren't they?
Yeah, I got
Little
young kids.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're getting older. My oldest is 9.
Okay.
And then my middle, so Maya Grace is my oldest. What's crazy is like a lot of, so I got this group, this kind of community is called Holy Vipers Only. Like that's kind of like my thing. That's my brand. And they all know that Maya, like she's a part of that. And she's a champion of it. Oh my gosh. And like they know her as AG because her name's Maya Grace. And she's sweet. Like a mini version of me, but like take the dial and turn it up like 10. Really? And that's her.
So we can expect to like see her.
Oh, she's gonna be in content. So once it gets warmer out, because she don't like the cold. So once it gets warmer out, she's gonna be in all the content. So that's my oldest, and then my middle, Elijah, he is 7, and then my youngest is about to turn 6, Brielle. So
okay, so you have 3.
I got 3 of them.
You have a 3 club. So do I. Yeah, awesome.
Life is crazy.
Life is crazy with 3 kids. It's good, but it's the best thing. Like it's crazy. Hard, but the best thing too.
Oh yeah, I tell people all the time, like after 2, because
you're out of control anyway.
With 2, you can. It's like, all right, mom, you go here, dad, you go here, cool. And then 3 comes is like, man, this is crazy. But then I hear from other people who have more than 3. They're like, once you get past 3,
it's all the same.
Easy.
You're already outnumbered.
Yeah, you're already outnumbered. You're so used to it. It's like, all right, here's your oatmeal, here's your oatmeal, here's your oatmeal. Boom, go eat, go to school.
They occupy each other.
Yeah,
kind of. Unless they argue like mine do.
They do, but sometimes it's not always good, you know?
Right. Or they get into trouble together.
Yeah.
I'm sure yours are perfect.
Yeah. I'm sure they like to hear that. If they watching right now,
I hope
like,
they watch, and I hope you know that I think that you're probably perfect.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so your family, that's your favorite thing.
Absolutely.
And you have a beautiful wife.
I do.
Yes.
She bad. I ain't gonna lie. That's my wifey. My wife is, you know, I I've been with my wife since technically we're high school sweethearts.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Aww.
It wasn't sweetheartish back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
There's a
right.
story to that. But no, we've known each other since she was 17, I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And she's just been like a best friend. And like, she's outside of Jesus, that's my rod.
Yeah.
And navigating this life we've seen a lot of hard things. And I don't know that I'd be able to do it without her.
Yeah.
Like, she's that person for me that she makes me a better man. She makes me, she gives me drive. She gives me, like, because I'm naturally, like, I have a background of being like this lazier, like, not driven, don't really care type of person. And then when God changed my life, he used her to do it. And she maintains that for me. Like, she inspires me. She gives me drive. And she gives me purpose, to be a provider, and encourages me in that. So like, that's my number one. That's my day one.
I love that.
Love her.
That. It sounds like she's a gift too. She's probably perfect too.
Yeah. Well,
You should say yes to that. Yeah. You should definitely say yes.
100%. If she's watching this right now,
She's perfect. Yes.
10 out of 10.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, where do you want to start?
So we know you're in the music industry now.
Yeah.
How did you get there? Like, what was life like before that, and what made you want?
I don't know how I got there. We just sort of ended up there.
Was that something that you always wanted to do?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a little kid. So I'm the youngest of 4.
Okay.
Right. And I was the kid. My oldest sister, she's 10 years difference, and separate marriage. So same mom. And she didn't really grow up in the house with us, but we were always close.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 older brothers. Okay. So I'm the youngest. My oldest brother was like the cool athlete, super smooth, got good enough grades to like, it wasn't a problem, but like, he was just really cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to be him growing up. And then my middle brother, he was super smart, very intellectual, straight A's, played sports, but I always kind of saw him as like, he's going to watch this. He's kind of a nerd, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was the young, rebellious, defiant, troublemaker kid. At 7 years old, I was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome, ADHD, OCD, was on prescription pills. And so like automatically at a young age, I got this identity of the troublemaker kid. And I kind of just ran with that, my whole life. And so I was always creative though. Like that was always my thing. My outlet was always arts, whether it was painting, drawing, singing, before it was rapping, I wanted to be a rap star.
Yeah.
And just anything that was like musical, I loved. Like I grew up watching Michael Jackson. I used to study the way that he danced, and I would watch all his DVDs of like his music videos, and growing up on like Chris Brown and watching his music videos and stuff like that. So I've always been musical. But whenever I gave my life to the Lord at 20 years old, I kind of put music down. And because to me, I was like, this is a tool that the devil uses. I was super radical. I was like, oh man, I got to put this music stuff down. It's evil. It causes people to sin. And God was like, no. Like, chill out. Let me give you some wisdom first.
Yeah.
This is actually a gift that I placed in you that I want you to use to reach people and bring them back to me.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it started. I've been doing music professionally for over 10 years. It's just that within the last 3 years, the world actually found out who I was. So I had all this time in the development room, right? Let's just call it the secret place. God was developing me before he brought me out to the world. And I'm actually super thankful that it worked out that way. Because I couldn't imagine, like I see some of these, I'm 33 years old, and I'm still young, but I see some of these artists that are 22 years old and they're seeing huge success at a young age, but I'm seeing them walk through mistakes. I'm seeing them make their mistakes publicly. And, for me, I got to make those mistakes when nobody knew who I was.
Right. That's a blessing.
It's a blessing, because it's like, now I have this, now that I've seen the success that I've seen, I also see it with wisdom.
Yeah.
So I don't hold on too closely to it. It's just kind of like, I have the wisdom now to be like, all right, Lord, this could come and go.
Whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Because to me, the most important thing to me is my family, my wife, my kids. and the ministry that God has given me, you know? And so if anything comes before that, God has built up a wisdom in me that says, hey, these things need to die. These things you need to lay them down for a minute. So, you know, I see all these younger artists who are holding so tightly to like, man, I gotta chase hits. I gotta chase stats. I gotta chase fans. I gotta chase success. And I'm like, yo, I don't know how I ended up here. You know, we was just making music and social media. It went crazy and was able to just, you know, God was blessing what we were doing, building a fan base. And I always look at it as like, it's not fans, it's family. You know, whenever I go out and do shows, my biggest thing is I like to be different. I truly love the ministry of what I do. And it's not just preaching Jesus from a stage. It's not just singing songs about God from a stage. It's actually being with people afterwards. Like to be able to talk to people and see how my music has impacted their life. But then God can maybe give me a word or scripture to encourage them. I love being with people, you know, but I come from a background of doing youth ministry, from serving at a church. The years that God was developing me, he built up those gifts in me. And so I love doing that. And over time, it's just become what it is now, like something that's much bigger than I ever thought it was going to be.
I love that.
So I love music. I've always been creative. It's always been a passion of mine. And I was just talking with my wife the other day. I was like, man, it's crazy how I'm doing the thing that I dreamed of doing since I was a kid, but I'm doing it for God. And that's so wild.
It's like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like who would have thought that you could do it explicitly for God and still reach the world in a way that people thought that only mainstream could do. So
cool.
Super dope.
I mean, it really is like, that's, you know, I'm thinking like I have teenagers and none of them are like really, I don't think any of them will be headed into music necessarily, but like, you know, you see dreams in your kids or something that they're naturally wired for. And to think about like what God could do with that is so cool. So just, I don't know, I love to hear what he does with everybody's so different. We all have our own talents, our own things that we love, and God will use every single bit of it if we let him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, it's like, he'll lead you to unexpected places.
Yeah.
Like, dang, that's why you were doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, because I've always been creative, a lot of times we think, well, if I'm creative, I got to do this.
Yeah.
Or if I am very intellectual, then I must do this. Or, oh, I'm an organizational type of person, so I got to do some type of job that strictly only, and it's like, God can use your gifts in so many ways that you don't even expect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I've always been primarily music.
Yeah.
Like that was my gifting, but I'm still a creative. And back in 2019, God kind of put it on my heart to learn videography and to learn content creation, to make music videos. Because back then I was a struggling artist. You know, I couldn't pay people to make my music videos. So I was like, I'm gonna buy a camera. I'm gonna do it myself. And over time, I learned, because I have the creative gift, I learned how to do videography, which led me to be able to create my own business, be successful in that. And now I'm able to do all my own stuff, all my content, my graphics, my videos, everything.
Crazy.
I'm able to do it all through the gifting of being a creative.
Yeah.
And I never would have expected that I'd be doing that. I always thought I'm going to be doing music.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
But then even outside of that, being creative in other ways, I'm very, like, God has developed in me the ability to speak well, you know, and to be creative with how I speak is a gifting that he uses all the time whenever I'm in front of people or when I'm in crowds, or like if he wants to use me to speak to people and witness to them or pray for them, he gives me the creative ability to do that on the spot, you know, and that's just from years of doing it and repetition and being in that development room that God has built up that gift in me. But a lot of people, they look for one thing that they got to do. And I'm like, yo, you got to be open to whatever it is that the Lord wants you to do, because you never know how he's going to use you. And 9 times out of 10, it's not to benefit you. It's to benefit somebody else.
Right.
And that's kind of how I look at being in the music industry, is like, how can I serve and bless other people? Not how can I serve and bless myself? Because I went down that path. Like the music industry, it seems like a dream, but it's not that. You know, like it's very competitive. it's very, even in the Christian music industry, it's very competitive. You got normal people who are insecure. You got people who are for themselves, who struggle with selfishness, who struggle with identity issues. And so it's the same thing. Like if you look at a church, you got a church and the church is full of messy people, right? But it's God's bride and he loves it, right? So I'm going into this music industry and I'm thinking, man, it's going to be perfect because it's Christian. You know, these people are going to, it's going to be so much easier to build. It's going to be like, God is just going to do so many things. And then I get into it and I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of worse because
they're supposed to.
Because we should know better, but because we're still human, we fall into the same things. And where it can seem like it's also worse, it's also better because there's grace there. And God is developing so many incredible artists at the same time. But I try to go into it with that mindset because I got trapped in how can I build me up? You know, you can let bitterness kind of overcome you. And then you're like, you know, I'm going to focus on me. How can I build me up? And it's like, nah, that's not even how I got here. I got here by serving other people. I got here by focusing on the people of God, the fans, and giving them what I feel like God says they need. And so that's kind of how that's what I let lead me as I create. You know what I mean?
I love that.
That's awesome.
We need more of that.
Yes, we do.
For sure.
I know even in like the local church that you'll see worship leaders who are people. They're messy and they will fall. And I had this suspicion that, you know, they get a lot of praise from people in the audience. And
100%.
like a little hyped up, and that ego can take hold of, you know, things that lead you to sin. And so, yeah, I can imagine that would be really hard. And yours on 100-fold scale. Because you're actually in
so
concerts.
well known. Yeah.
So it's so sweet to see that you keep, like you call them family, your fans as family and community, and you're open to hearing words from God for them and praying for them and just chatting with them. And like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But has there ever been a time where you had to struggle to keep yourself out of the spotlight instead of the name of Christ?
100%. You know, because it's weird. Like, because we're people, you know, and when we get excited about it, we're created to worship.
Yeah.
God created us to worship him. But because we have that nature in us, we tend to misplace it.
Yep.
You know, so we'll worship anything from sports, you know, football teams, basketball teams, to celebrities, to you name it. And so a lot of times we just misplace it, and trying to navigate that is awkward because like, I don't want to be rude to you and be like, yo, you shouldn't worship me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think that they are. I think they just have, a lot of times, like I'll go out and like some of the biggest cities that I'm well known in is like LA, Atlanta, New York, Chicago, like a lot of these bigger cities that's not home. You know, a lot of people recognize me and they kind of treat me the same. I get the celebrity treatment. And it's kind of flattering, but then it's also like, it's this weird dance of like, yeah, I'm flattered and this is awesome, but also like, this is weird because like, you shouldn't really see me. If you knew, first off, I'm like, if you knew who I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you knew the Kriss that I know, that I've lived with and walked with my whole life, you wouldn't think that I'm that cool. You know, like you guys said earlier, you're like, your life is so cool. It seems so cool. And I'm like, if you guys saw my everyday life, you'd be like, oh, he's just like us. Like I wake up, I get my kids ready for school. They go to school, they come home. Like for the last 5, 6, 9 years, I've been wiping butts nonstop. Like
all the unglamorous things that we all do.
And so like, I see myself as that, and they see me as, oh my gosh, that's Yung Kriss, the Christian R&B guy, the guy that made Too Serious and God's Hands, my favorite songs. I listen to him every day. You know, some of these people, they wake up and they listen to me first,
which is awesome.
I'm the first verse that they hear, right? And so it's like, that's super cool, and that's what I wanted. That's the impact that I wanted, but I also wanted that impact for one reason: to bring them closer to God. And a lot of times people misplace that. And like you said, in the church, you got people like worship leaders who they get so accustomed to, they think it's them. You know, and I'm thankful. I say it all the time. I'm so thankful that God created or God developed a wisdom in me to know that it's not me. Like I know that I'm cool. I know that I've been cool my whole life before God. Like I've had that swag before. I'm just being honest. Like,
Yeah, you're like, I am.
Like I tell people,
Yeah.
like, cause I've had people say, it's the internet. People say wild things and they're like, oh man, he's just clout chasing and he's doing that. I'm like, look, I've been smooth since before God. Like I came out.
God made me this way.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I can't help it.
I came out the womb smooth. My dad is smooth. My brothers are smooth.
Yeah.
My family is smooth. Like we're you know what I'm saying? That's who we are as a culture. But like also, I also know that God is the greatest thing about me.
Yeah.
His spirit living in me and changing my life, because my smoothness almost got me killed. You know what I'm saying? It led me to a place that was dark, but God completely changed my life. So anything that these people see in me, the greatest thing they see is God and the work of God in my life. And I wish that more people had that type of foundational like faith. Like, man, because a lot of times we forget, like we get some type of clout or we get some type of platform. Pastors will get this platform, they start getting more money, and that's when you see people fall into sin. We get examples of that in the Bible.
Yep.
David was anointed to be the king. He was anointed at a young age, and God developed him the same way as a young boy to where he was able to overcome bears, lions, and all these things, taught him how to be a shepherd. And then when he stepped into that king role, after leadership and after success, he fell into sin. Because he started to believe that it was him. Same thing with Saul. Saul was called to be the king. And then God brought him to victory, to victory, to victory with wars. And then he just kept going to war outside of God's spirit. And then God's spirit had to remove himself, because we forget that it's God who carried us there. We forget that it was God who was developing us and giving us the wisdom and giving us the character and giving us the victory. We thought the victory was our own. And then we get lost in that. And that's where you see people fall short every single time. And my boundaries and my walls are so guarded. The walls are so high. I won't allow myself to go down that path. So like I see people like, man, you got almost 1 million followers and you got millions of streams and all that stuff. And I'm like, cool. Like, how is that blessing my family though? You know what I'm saying? Like I got 3 kids I gotta take care of.
Yep.
I got a wife I gotta take care of, like, and I want to make impact. That's it. Like all that other stuff is meaningless because it could fall off tomorrow. If Instagram deletes their app, I'm a regular person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I just think that people, they take their eyes off of the mission. They take their eyes off of what it is that is true, and they get deceived, and then they fall into the same trap over and over and over again. And I want to be creative in a way that's not my focus. My focus is how can I reach people and let them know that Jesus loves them, that he died for them, and that he overcame death for them, so that anybody who believes in him will have everlasting life. You know, the world is thirsty.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you look at the world today. It's so thirsty. People are hungry for something. They're thirsty for something. Some people are starving.
Yep.
And it's like, if we have everlasting water, right, that comes from Jesus, why are we not doing everything we can to reach this world and to show them who Jesus is and how he's changed our life? And that's how I go about my creative process. Lord, what song is it that you have for me? And a lot of times it's silence. And he's like, what do you want to speak? And then he blesses it. You know what I'm saying? Some people will be like, if God don't say it, I don't do it. It's like, God's also like, I gave you a voice for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he blessed you with creativity and
a personality.
a personality and your smoothness.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Is that the right word, the right term? Like, do you have? I have so many questions. How do you stay so connected to God? Do you have like a?
Are you being discipled? Like, do you have a?
Yeah, and
feel
even
like
just your
she's trying
quiet
to find-
time.
Yeah.
Like even, do you have like a? I hate to use the term quiet time. You know what I mean? Because it looks different for everyone. But how do you? Because I think from what you're describing, with all of the notoriety and the people knowing you, like it could be so easy to let that take over. And you said
sure
you
it
have
gets
these
loud.
high walls
Yeah.
and boundaries.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
how do you stay grounded and connected and humble? Like, is it a constant asking the Lord, search me and show me my heart? Like,
Yeah, that's a prayer.
try me, know my anxieties, like all these things. Like, I mean, people who don't have to deal with the crowds and fame and whatever still have to do that. We all have our own things that like could easily take us out of having God as our worship. We can worship ourselves. We can worship our jobs. We can worship even our family, like good things that God's given us, but we can put our focus on those. I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
Do you have a practice of how you stay so grounded?
Yeah, 100%.
With him? I mean, obviously you have a real regular life too, like you said,
Yeah.
with kids and a wife and all these things. I'm sure that for anyone that brings you down a notch. Like, this is the reality of my life right now.
My kids humble me.
Oh, don't they do that?
Oh man,
yeah, they do that.
Especially AG. AG ain't. Let me start feeling myself, and she's gonna be like, "See, that's the thing about AG, and that's the thing that like the Holy Vibers know. They're like, we love AG because of her. She got some good attitude about her. Let me start feeling myself a little bit. And she'll be like, first off, and I'm like, hey, hold on, you gotta remember, I'm dad.
Keep it real
like,
with you. Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, I definitely, it's funny. Like, that's been a prayer of mine since I've been a believer. Is like, search my heart and know my ways. Like, that's in Psalms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote a song about that like years ago called Holy Spirit Come. And it basically like in the Psalms, it says, when I sit down, know when I rise up, the things that are in my heart and in my thoughts, like search me and know me. Yeah. And if you find anything grievous, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In me,
Anything wicked in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like point it out and take it out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been my heart. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was doing, I have a independent festival, Christian R&B festival that I host in Los Angeles. And last year was our first year that we did it.
Fun.
And it was incredible. God sold it out beyond capacity.
What?
Like,
oh, that's awesome.
it was crazy.
I know I want to go too.
You guys should come. We're doing it again this year.
When
this
is it?
Actually, I haven't announced
yet?
it. Well,
Oh, you don't have to yet.
No, hold on. People know that it's going to happen.
Okay.
Because we have a whole social media about
Yeah.
it. They just don't know exactly when.
Yeah.
But it's happening this year. You guys should come out.
I
It's gonna
would.
be
That would
awesome.
be so
You
fun.
ever been to
Love
LA?
that.
I have not been to LA. I've been other
LA's
places
beautiful.
in California, but
LA, you would love LA. You guys should come. It's very, very dope. But I remember last year was my first year, and in the morning of setting up, so we get I'm there the week before, but then my team flies in that Thursday. That Friday, we're setting up, and then Saturday is the day of the show. So that Friday morning, we're getting ready to go set up, and I'm up early, and I'm praying to God. And I'm just sitting on the front porch of our Airbnb, and I'm literally just having this moment with God, and I just start weeping because He brings to my remembrance a prayer that I made when I was like 24, and I was so hungry to do this full time, and I wanted so badly to be the young Kriss that you guys know today is who I've been praying for a decade. And I remember I'm sitting there and I'm drinking my coffee and I'm praying and I'm talking to God. And I said, Lord, I need you to keep my heart with you. Like anything that is full of pride, tear it out. Because I'm doing my own festival. So like I have every reason in my own heart to be like, this is me.
that's a
doing
great
this.
accomplishment.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I could easily be like, these people need me. All these thoughts can come in. And I'm like, Lord, I need you to keep my heart because I don't want to lose myself in the midst of doing this. And then immediately the Lord brought to my remembrance the same exact prayer that I made back when I was 24, where I was praying right before I went on stage. And I said, Lord, don't ever let my heart fall away from you. And then He reminded me, and I'm weeping. I'm just like on the front porch, people walking their dogs, like, and I'm sitting here like just weeping before God. And He said, look at how I've been faithful. The same prayer that you were praying then, you're praying now. And that's because of me. And I was like, man, thank you, Lord.
He's so good.
And so like prayers like that and God reminding me through the Spirit is what keeps me humble. Also, I tend to have, it's probably negative, but also like I think it's very realistic. In James, it talks about humble yourselves and draw near to the Lord and he'll draw near to you. But like, see your sin and grieve it.
Yeah.
And I tend to have that perspective a lot. Like, I'm somebody who struggled with depression all my life. I'm somebody who struggled with identity issues and anxieties. And I tend to see myself in the worst way. And God constantly has to remind me of who I am in him. So it's easier for me to stay humble because it's almost the opposite. Like,
Because you see those.
yeah, it's like the opposite of humble. It's like, yo, you kind of see yourself as like this disgusting thing. Yeah. And I'm trying to show you that you're a new creation. So that kind of keeps me humble. But also, like, I've seen too much. I've seen God do so many things in my life. I've seen God do supernatural things. Like, I'm talking, I've heard the voice of the Lord. So I've seen too much and know too much to allow myself to get to a place where I fall into depravity again. Yeah. Like, I just can't. And I've also seen so many people fall away from the faith.
Yes.
Like, walking with the Lord for 13 years now, because I didn't grow up in church. I didn't grow up like with a pastor's kid, or I didn't grow up, you know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up kind of rough.
Yeah.
So when I gave my life to the Lord, I was serious. Like, I was at the end of myself. When I was 20 years old, I was going to unalive myself. I was at the worst, lowest point in my life. And God showed a vision to me and saved me from the moment that I was going to do it. And so to me, that was very real. Like, God showed up in a very real way. And I didn't know who he was before then. So I don't play with God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I feel every bit of my sin. And I do. And it is hard. Like, I'll be honest. It's very difficult staying humble, especially when you feel like you're owed something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, being in the music
And the
industry
world tells you that you are owed something.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and your flesh tells
Your
you
flesh
too.
does too. Yeah.
Yeah, because like being in the music industry, it's very competitive. Like, as much as it is good, it's very competitive, even in the Christian industry. And artists are looking at other artists.
Yeah.
What are their numbers? What song did they make? Why did it go crazy? Let me make a song similar. And there's this weird thing of like not showing honor to people because we feel like they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Or not showing honor to somebody because we can't see past ourselves and we feel like we deserve that more. And so we get jealous, envious of what other people have. And I've experienced this myself.
Right.
Like, and God has had to check my heart. Like, first off, like, look at the blessings you have. Stop focusing on what they have.
Yeah.
And so it's hard because I've walked through a season in this, I've only been really in the music industry for like the last 3 years. So I have a whole lot to learn still, but God has taught me a lot in that 3 years. And I've also experienced a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of people not sticking to their word. I've lost best friends. I've been in a season recently where like lost my best friend who was my producer for a long time and not even speaking with him. And the Lord working in my heart and praying for reconciliation and trying not to believe lies, even though the world would justify me and how I'm feeling. And it's hard because you build up this protection of like, man, I know who I am and I don't need nobody. You know what I'm saying? I can do this on my own. Y'all thought I needed you. You needed me. And then the Lord is like, wait, like actually all of you need me.
Yes.
And my heart, the Lord, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but the
No,
Lord
this
spoke
is
to
good.
me the other night. I was dealing with something and I was praying before I went to bed and God was like, get up and spend time with me. I was like, all right. So I go downstairs to my living room and I felt the Spirit say, grab your Bible. So I was like, all right. So I grabbed my Bible and I'm like, Lord, if you got something for me, you got to tell me. And he was like, open it up to Matthew 6. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, did I say that myself?
Right?
Right.
It's like,
But
Lord.
that's so specific.
You know what I'm saying? It's very
Yeah.
specific. But
Yeah.
I'm like, did I say that myself? Because I don't remember what's in Matthew 6 off the top of my head.
Right.
And then I hear it again, open up to Matthew 6. So I'm like, all right. So I open it up and I'm like, Lord, and he's like, Matthew 6. So I look down and as soon as I started reading, I immediately start weeping because I knew exactly what he was about to do. Yeah. He was about to reveal a whole lot of sin and a whole lot of, and when I say sin, a lot of times we look at sin as like, lust or lie.
Right.
But like anything that is not in faith
Yep.
is sin.
Yes.
And so God was revealing so much about me, but he was doing it in a way that was like full of grace. And it's hard to navigate something at such a high level with so many eyes on you, and to do it in a way that is honoring to God if you aren't spending time with him in the quiet place.
Yeah.
And it's in the quiet place where I'm humbled. I'm naked before God. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows my flaws. He knows my tendencies. He knows my flesh. He knows everything about me. He created me. And so it's like, he knows exactly how to lead me. But when we're not familiar with his voice, that's where people fall and that's where people stumble. So like, he's walking me through all these scriptures and he's just revealing so much about me. And he's bringing me to a place of reconciling with myself. You know, if we want to see healing with other people, we got to first see healing with ourselves. And a lot of times we think that it's other people's fault.
Yep.
And we have to be able to see the fault in our own. And that was humbling. And so I'm sitting here, you know, tissue box in front of me.
Like the one down
Like
there.
the one right down here that I asked about.
It's for me.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm just sitting here talking to God. I'm like, Lord, fine. I'll listen. I don't want anything to get in the way of what it is that you have for me. And I don't want anything to get in the way of my obedience. So even if it means that I got to die to this and be wronged, I'll do it. And because Jesus was telling me, he's like, when they were accusing me, when they were wronging me, when they were mocking me, I didn't have to make threats. I didn't have to retaliate. My retaliation was going to come much later.
Yeah.
And my retaliation is coming in the form of love and in the form of redemption. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to trust you. And I'm still in that season, transparently, I'm still in that season of trusting. Like, the world doesn't know my problems because you have to walk with a certain balance.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just share everything.
Right.
And everything's not for everybody.
Right.
But like, transparently, I'm still in a season where I'm grieving the loss of a friend. I'm grieving the loss of business relationship. I'm grieving the loss of community. And those things remind me of how important it is to be walking with God daily. So it's easy to be humble because like, I'm already humble. Like, those things are humbling me, you know? And I have to spend that time with God to know where he's leading me to next. You know, because there's still places that he's trying to take me.
Yeah.
And he can't take me if I'm not focused. He can't take me if Chris is distracted, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. And so he has to keep me focused. And that's kind of how I handle that. It's a mixture of quiet time, daily disciplines. You know, I was discipled for a long time. So like, whenever I first gave my life to the Lord, I was discipled for 5 years. I walked with a man who taught me daily for 5 years.
I love that.
And it was hard.
It is
hard.
hard.
Like, a lot of lessons,
Yeah.
a lot of disagreements. But like, I had probably the closest thing that you could have to a biblical discipleship of what God intended for us. And that's something that's so foreign, you know, nowadays.
Yep.
But like, I had that. So that's my foundation. You know, without that, I would probably be ruined, you know, but because I have that discipleship, and then I have friendships in my life that also humble me and pour wisdom into me. You know, as iron sharpens iron, another man sharpens another man. So I have those relationships in my life. I stay connected. I go to church. My family's in church. You know, I was on staff at a church for years. I served for more years before that. And I just, within the last 3 or 4 years, stepped away from that role so that I could pursue full time what I felt like God was calling me to do. Yeah. And luckily it worked out.
Yeah.
I guess I was right in hearing that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if he's calling you to it, then he makes the way.
100%. 100%.
I love when you were describing just like being open about how God, he corrects us when he loves us.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
But he is, one of my favorite things about God is he's gentle even when he's correcting us. Like he's not, it's for our good and it's so we can draw closer to him, but it's not because he's mad, like, oh, you're doing this wrong, this song, you know, you're not doing it right or whatever. He wants us to draw closer to him, and but he's still so gentle in it. And that's one of my favorite things about him.
You know, it's funny because like in the industry that I'm in, and specifically the genre that I'm in, is like Christian hip hop, Christian R&B. And it's weird because like it's Christian and it's church culture, but it's also like very strong hip hop culture, Black culture, and from where that culture that we come from, like a lot of times we blend the two, and like hip hop culture is very aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of rap beefs.
Yeah.
And like I see that in the Christian industry now. Like,
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, Christian rappers who like have disagreements on theology, and the way that they correct each other is crazy. You know, and I even see it like even in CCM, like in the worship industry, like pastors will call out pastors and like and you said something that was so true, where you say when God corrects us, it's a gentle correction.
It really is.
And there's times where God has to be more firm too.
Right.
But a lot of times he's gentle, and that's actually a character trait of his.
Yeah.
That he's a gentle God. And all the times where I've been corrected by God, it came in a gentle way.
Yeah.
The scriptures also talk about a gentle rebuke is easily received, right? And when you do correct people, to do it in a way that is gentle, because then people can receive it. But a lot of times I see some of these artists, and they're like, it'll be something so like simple, so not even essential.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, yeah, these dudes, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, how can you claim to be so connected to God to where it's like you hear him every day audibly, but you have no gentleness about you?
The fruit's not there.
You know what I'm saying?
Like it's a fruit of the spirit.
It's a fruit of his spirit working in you.
And a lot of people, that's another good, we're going to talk about some juicy things today. Is this a safe space?
Yes, it is.
Cool. A lot of people talk about, you'll know them by their fruits, right? Oh, their fruit is going to be this or this or this or this. Like, I knew I could tell him by his fruit. What's the fruit? What fruit are they talking about when they say you'll know them by their fruits? The fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
What are the fruits of the Spirit? Do you have gentleness? Do you have kindness?
joy.
Do you have joy? Do you have self-control? Do you have these fruits about you? That's how you can tell the marks of a believer.
Yeah. Yep.
Is if they have this.
Yep.
Not if they have a church that has 1 million people that go to it.
Yeah.
Not if they don't have anybody disagreeing with them. Not if they don't have any scandals. Not if you agree with them or not.
Yep.
You know, people throw this thing out like, man, you'll know them by their fruits whenever somebody makes a mistake or somebody has a disagreement. I see that on IG all the time in the comments. It's like, yeah, man, I knew his fruits wasn't there. It's like, what fruits are you talking about?
Yeah.
The fruits that they're talking about in those scriptures is you will know them by their fruits. What's the fruits of the flesh? It gives you a description.
Yep.
What's the fruits of the spirit?
Gives
it gives
you
you
a
a description.
Yep.
What do you see?
Yeah.
That's how you can discern
Yep.
who is following God and who is not, who the Holy Spirit is at work within and who is not.
Yeah.
And also, don't ignore all the scriptures that talk about having grace for your brother,
Yep.
for reconciling your brother if he falls short, for acknowledging sin in a gentle way. There's a pattern that you do it. Don't skip all that and just point a blame game, you know what I'm saying, on people. I look at the church today, man, and like, it's easy to point, I don't get caught up in pointing out all the flaws, but like, I look at it and sometimes I'm like, Lord, do I want to be a part of this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because this, man, if you treated me like this when I was going to do what I was going to do back in 2013, sorry. If you were going to treat me like this when I was going to unalive myself,
You wouldn't have made it.
I would not have followed you.
Yeah.
But because you showed grace in that moment and patience, God has so much patience with me to grow me into the man that I am today. Man, if he didn't have the patience for me, I would have been gone.
Yes.
And I'm like, where is that patience for people?
Yeah.
Where is that patience for, when I look at Jesus and how he interacted with the adulterous woman who was thrown before him by the Pharisees and the religious leaders. And they're like, the scriptures say that, or the law says that we should do this. What do you say? And Jesus is like, whoever has no sin, throw the first stone. And they say that he started drawing on the ground. And like, there's this example that I love. We don't know if it's true or not, but like, it says, what if he was drawing either names in the sand, or what if he was calling out sin? What if he was marking out titles of sins? And it says one by one, they dropped their stones and they left. And Jesus, his first reaction was protect this woman. Mm-hmm. Actually, Jesus' first decision was to correct, then protect, then reconcile. He first corrects the people who are trying to point fingers. And I'm like, ooh, that's so good. Because God is revealing something to me right now. Because that's literally what he did to me the other night, where he first corrected me. I felt wronged by people, and God first dealt with me. And he said, let me deal with your heart first. And then he protected. And then he changed and reconciled. He did that with them. Sorry, I saw it. I got distracted.
We're getting our time signal.
No, you're good. He first corrected them. Then he protected the woman. And then he said, go and sin no more. And if we would just follow that pattern and have grace for people in that way and say, you know what? I may disagree with you, but I still love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still am a brother in Christ to you. And I'm not going to demonize you just because I don't see eye to eye with you.
Right.
I think that if we had that type of mentality every day, we would see the church grow. It's already growing exponentially, but we would see it grow even crazier.
Yeah.
So I kind of went off on a tangent.
No,
there, but
I love it.
Yeah,
I think that
me too.
the church body is lacking patience in general.
Yeah.
In that when loud sinners come through the doors, you know, the ones that everybody draws the
People
lines
don't
on,
expect them to come be in. Yeah.
they, for some reason, they expect them to change right now. 100% right now. Did God change you right now? 100%? No. With me, he chipped off little things, little pieces, because he knew that's what I could handle with grace, right? Grace and correction. And he's going to do the same for them. Can he radically change their life 100% overnight?
Yeah.
Yes, because he's God. But does he most often? No. And so it's our job to walk beside them, encourage them, disciple them, gently call these things out, and be patient. Wait for the Lord to work, because his timing is way better than mine.
Yeah. And like a lot of people talk about, you know, I remember when I was in youth ministry, there were kids who grew up in the church, and then we were reaching kids who had never been to church. Yeah. So there's this mixture of like PKs and then, you know, rough around the edges kids. And a lot of times pastor kids were like, man, I don't feel like I have a testimony. I don't feel like I got, you know, a story, or I wasn't radically changed by God. I'm like, what's radical? How do we measure what radical change is? A lot of times people think that, oh, he went from being a drug addict on the streets to becoming a pastor. That's radical.
Right.
Radical is turning away from your sin and choosing God daily. That's what radical is. And if we would stop measuring things as like, this is great and this is just kind of basic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's opposite. Everything that works in the world is completely opposite in the kingdom of heaven. You know, here in the world, we think it's a revival if 50,000 people show up. And there could be no signs of revival, but because 50,000 people are there, revival is happening.
Yeah.
Scripture says the opposite. It says the angels in heaven rejoice for one sinner who repents over 99 righteous people. Yeah. So it's the opposite, right? And here on earth, we think that wisdom comes with age and comes with longevity and with time. And where there's principles to that, we think that we got to be grown about our stuff. But Jesus is like, actually, none of you will enter my kingdom unless you have faith like this child right here. So everything about the kingdom of heaven is opposite from how the world works. And if we would just think about that and attack things like that and do what's opposite to what our nature and our flesh wants to do, you know, because a lot of times we think that we're justified in how we feel. Like, because we put the word to it. Like, I'm angry at you, but the word.
Righteous anger.
Yeah, it's a righteous anger. It's like, nah, you're just mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you just disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how can I have grace for you? And that's the one thing that I'm thankful that I have with the Lord, is that he's shown himself to be worthy of a teacher. Because even when I feel like I'm wronged, he's like, well, hold on. You got to see yourself. And the reason why is because that's what I'm calling you to. And I'm like, well, why are you calling me to that? And he's like, because I did that. When Jesus went to the cross, he embodied what it means to walk that out. He gave us the example, and he calls us to do that. And so that's kind of how I try to navigate this life.
That's good.
Love it.
Yeah, me too.
Like a whole sermon, right?
I know. I'm like, where do I go from there? Because that's it. I mean, we're called to love people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jesus is the ultimate example of that. Like in every single way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he does this with me often. He will deal with my own heart when I come to him, like you said, about something maybe with someone else or an issue. And he'll be like, wait a minute, let's look at you. He's good at that.
I love it when he does that.
I love that when he does that? I do love it.
Did you see my face?
Yeah. I feel like that's more often than not with me. Like that's my issue is my own heart that he's going to deal with.
And I think that none of us like it. But
because it hurts.
The scripture says that first off, a father who doesn't discipline their child doesn't love them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the father who he disciplines, he loves. Yeah. And then it also says that discipline at first doesn't feel good. It feels like punishment. Mm-hmm. But later it produces a righteous fruit. Mm. So like I think about my kids, I'm like, all right, if my son was to walk in here right now and smack this off the table, boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll fire off in your chest right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get some type of correction.
Yes.
Because you have to understand that that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Right? But where my flesh wants to be like, wow, cave your chest in. A lot of times the best parenting is, come here. Mm-hmm. You have to understand the severity of what you just did. But I'm going to coach you through and walk you through why you should not do that.
Yeah.
Look at the outcome of what you did. You interrupted this entire podcast because you came in here and you destroyed something. And then you have to walk them through it. And the Father does that with us.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, I know that you think that you're seeing things clearly, but my ways are above your ways. Mm-hmm. I see it from a whole different perspective, and I need you to trust me. Yeah. And that's what faith is. Faith is trusting that God's way is better than our own.
Yeah.
Because our nature, we want to believe our own understanding. Mm. But the word says, lean not on your own understanding, but trust in God and acknowledge him in all your ways, and he'll make your path straight. Yeah. So like when you trust in the Lord and you walk with the Lord, he's going to make your path straight. And it talks about the wide path and the narrow path. God will take you on the straight and narrow path, but you have to listen to his voice and trust him. Mm-hmm. Or else you're going to go over here, over here, over here, over here. And God is like, just listen to me. Mm. You know, my sheep know me. They know my voice. Mm-hmm. And so my biggest thing that I tell people is like, yo, you got to know his voice. Yeah. Discern his voice. Yep. And it's something that you teach by experience. Yeah. You know, you teach by showing them the word, understanding who God is. And then it takes experience. You have to listen. Like God is he's a God of mystery, but also the word says that he wants to reveal his mysteries to you. Mm-hmm. You have to listen, draw near to him, humble yourselves. And so my whole thing is in this industry, that's my biggest priority. You know, before getting any type of big collab, before growing my monthly listenership or my fan base, before selling out shows, before any of that, my number one priority, am I walking with the Father? Because if I'm not walking with the Father, all of this means nothing. Because this is all going to be destroyed one day. Yep. It's not going to exist anymore. But if I walk with the Father, I will with the Lord. So that's my biggest priority.
That's so good.
You know, I heard an analogy this week about cruise ships, you know, how they're ginormous. Mm-hmm. They look like they shouldn't float, but they do. It's fine. But do you know that they can turn all the way around? And how do they do it? 1 degree at a time.
That's crazy.
And so our life is the same way. We can turn all the way around.
Yeah.
If we're not careful, 1 degree at a time, we'll eventually wake up and be completely the way we're not supposed to be.
Ooh, yeah, because 1 degree off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know because I've never been on a cruise ship. And I probably never will. You know what I'm saying? I don't do boats.
Maybe you should. I'll say maybe you should do a show on a cruise.
Nah.
Not your thing.
I saw
I'll
Titanic.
stick to land.
You know what I'm saying?
I saw Titanic.
And
ruined you forever, right?
That's true.
When I saw Titanic, I said, you know what?
Stay
this
on
is
land.
A lesson.
If this is what can happen, I don't want to be a part of it.
Cool,
there's wisdom there, right?
Yeah, there's wisdom.
We'll stay on dry land. We'll just come see you in LA.
That's right.
Exactly. You know, it's funny. I said the same thing about flying, and now I fly all the time.
You fly all the time.
Yeah. But I remember my first time ever flying, I'm white knuckle gripping my wife's hand and then the armrest. And I'm like, man, this plane's going to crash, bro. Like,
this is not for me.
Yeah, this is not for me. We're not supposed to be 30,000 feet up in the air. This is impossible. But yeah, I don't know about being on a boat. I don't know if I can do that. It's crazy.
Maybe that's another lesson in trust. God will lead you into it at some
Maybe.
point.
Yeah.
Trusting him, like to
We'll
be on a
see.
boat.
I don't know how much time we have. Do we have
Yeah, I
time for
don't
more
know
stories
either.
or no?
Sure.
Do we?
I love stories.
You said something about a cruise ship. It turns 1 degree at a time, right? And we talked about earlier how like a lot of times we run out of patience for people to change their lives.
Yeah.
We think that, hey, once you know Jesus, immediately you got to change. I need to be able to see fruit in your life.
Yep.
I remember when I first came to the Lord, there was a lot of things I was still doing. I struggled with smoking. I struggled with sex. I struggled with lying. There's so many things that were a part of. I grew up 20 years living this way,
Yep.
right? And I remember specifically I was struggling to quit smoking. And I was doing a door-to-door sales job at the time. And if anybody knows anything about door-to-door sales, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's very stressful.
I would not.
It's
Yeah.
up one week, it's down the other.
Yeah.
And I remember I was trying to quit. And I'd gone a few days and then I caved. And then I finally went 2 weeks without smoking, right? Had the worst week possible at my job. Made no sales, lost sales. And my paycheck was going to be basically nothing, right? And I remember one night, it's in the middle of winter, and I'm living with my sister at the time, and her boyfriend lived with her, and he smoked cigarettes. And so he had like a little bucket of sand ashtray outside, right? And I remember I was so frustrated, stressed out, and I was like, man, I'm gonna smoke. So I went outside and I picked up a little cigarette butt from his. I didn't want to smoke a full cigarette. I was like, I'll just get a half lit one, right? Now, a month before this, I made a prayer to God, a prayer that I shouldn't have made, a prayer that my mentor told me not to make. But I prayed to God, I said, if I ever smoke again, I want you to take my life because I'm not worthy of following you. So fast forward a month. Fast forward. I wanted to quit so bad.
Yeah,
that I said, Lord, if I can't quit, take my life.
Wow.
And so fast forward a month later, I'm sitting there, I'm picking up a cigarette butt, and I light it, and I literally put it to my lips. It's the middle of winter, dead of night, silent, clear skies. Out of nowhere, the loudest thunder strike right in front of my face, just immediately felt the Spirit of God. Dropped the cigarette butt. Stop smoking.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Immediately. Right? But I tell people that story and I'm like, God can change your life radically, right? But it was small steps.
Yeah.
I was trying to quit for a month, maybe 2 months leading up to that. 3 days on, 2 days off, and I was trying, I was failing. I was trying, I was failing. I was trying, I was failing. And God reminded me in that moment, he said, I need you to understand not how serious smoking is. I need you to understand how serious your words are.
Yeah.
Because you made a prayer to me that you didn't understand the severity of. And now I have to show you how real I am.
Wow.
That was one of those moments in my life that nobody will ever be able to tell me that God's not real
Yeah.
or that he doesn't exist. Because I made a prayer that was crazy and he revealed himself to me in a way that completely killed an addiction within me.
Wow.
In a matter of a second. And the fear of the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to do it. And he was like, I'm not going to do it, but you have to understand that I'm real.
Mm-hmm.
Your faith is too weak to overcome this. And so now I have to build your faith. And he did in that moment. So from that moment, I stopped smoking.
That's
Immediately.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you ever have a time where you tried to again?
Well, and what's crazy is the answer is yes. So there's moments where I think maybe like a year later, I was still working door-to-door sales. And I remember I was struggling so bad. I was about to have my first kid. And so I'm stressed out, and mind you, I'm a high school dropout. So like, if this job don't work out, I don't have options.
Yeah.
I got to do door-to-door sales. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Music ain't taking off at this time. So I'm struggling. And whenever I struggle with sin, I rebel. That's always who I've been in the flesh. I told you guys earlier, I was a rebellious kid, defiant.
Yep.
And so whenever I get stressed out, I tend to want to rebel. And so I was driving to the gas station. My sales partner was at a house. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go smoke. So I went to the gas station. I bought a Black and Mild. I walk into the gas station. The woman working at the gas station recognizes me as Yung Kriss.
What?
Because I did a youth event at their church. As I'm buying the Black and Mild, she's like, "Aren't you Yung Kriss?" And immediately I felt shame.
Yeah.
And God was like, "This is why you have to walk with me and above reproach, because you don't feel like you're seen. Other people see you as something completely different." So there was that moment. And then I finally feel like I overcame that. And then I remember on my honeymoon, once the Lord developed in me a maturity, I actually got to enjoy a cigar. Where were we at? Where did I go to my honeymoon? Punta Cana. Punta Cana?
Okay.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And they have really nice cigars there. And the Lord actually revealed to me, he was like, smoking a cigar or smoking a cigarette, a lot of people see that as a sin. You know, you can make arguments. He was telling me, like, that's not the action of sin. The action of sin is you defying me and what I have for you.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we look at people's lives and we call out sin like, oh, you're drinking, sin.
Yeah.
You're smoking, sin. You're cussing, sin. And like the word actually says that anything that's not done in faith is sin. And so God was revealing that to me. So I enjoyed a cigar. And in that moment, I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Right.
But I'm in Dominican Republic.
Right.
And it was a cool cigar.
Yeah.
After that, didn't touch it. But I've had moments where like, man, you know what? I could rebel and go do this. But the Lord has to remind me, like, why would you go back to your vomit? You know what I mean? Why would you return to the thing that almost destroyed you?
Yep.
And it's funny now because I'm like, dang, I really completely killed an addiction just from trusting the Lord. And I think that's what it takes. It takes daily trust in the Lord. But yeah, that was a crazy moment in my life where I'll never forget that. And that's actually one I've never really shared publicly. You know, I've shared to people, but I've never like on a public platform, never shared that story before. So it's crazy.
It's so cool how he will encounter you, a person, in a very specific way. He's so personal.
In the midst of your sin too.
In the midst of your
in
sin.
the midst of whatever it is that you're doing wrong, he shows up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It brings me back to that adulterous woman. In the act of her sin, Jesus showed up.
Yeah.
And that's how we're supposed to see people. In the midst of their sin. We're not supposed to see them for their sin. We're supposed to see them the way that God sees them so that we can reconcile them back to him.
To the Father.
Back to the Father. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So good.
Well, thank you for
I
sharing
love it.
that
I
with
know.
us.
I'm like, I like want to hear all the things.
I know. I can talk to you
Maybe
for
we'll have a
hours.
part 2 when you're not flying around the country.
We could do it from LA.
Oh, that's a good
fun.
idea.
That'd be kind of crazy.
That would be
That would be
That
awesome.
would be amazing.
It would be fun.
You're going to have to get the team. They're going to have
Somewhere
to come up.
warm. Yeah, how about that, guys? Let's go to California. Yeah.
Christina's in.
She says thumbs up. Yeah.
Well, I know that we're not supposed to glorify the names of each other or whatever. However, I will say it is so encouraging to know that there is somebody out there that our kids, our friends, our peers could follow that preaches a message like this. So thank you for being a light for him because
Thank you.
it's awesome. It's so cool to see your heart and know that you truly are walking with Christ.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Thanks.
So we're gonna tag all of your socials so that all you guys can check them out.
For people who like
music
love,
is really good.
Say
too.
people who I have always loved hip hop R&B. My husband, like my kids, like especially my teenagers, and music.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think it's influencing you,
it is.
it is. So to have a godly, positive, but still really awesome, great music, the beats, and it's, you can dance to it, whatever. I think
that's what my brand is all about. Like Holy Vibes Only is.
Yes, I love that. It's
this idea of like, you can have great sounding music that is a vibe that still is rooted in Christ. And that's all I want. Like I only want things that honor and glorify God. So Holy Vibes Only it embodies that. But I take what I've grew up on and influences, what goes in is what comes out. And the beauty of the gospel is that you can take in and bring it back to a perspective through the lens of walking with Jesus. And that's kind of how I approach my music. You know, I have influences that I grew up from, influences that I hear today, and then I just kind of take that and I try to ask God, like, what is something original that can come from that? But also, how can I pay homage to things that I grew up on? And I think that's culture building. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's world building, that's culture building, and that's also relatable.
Yeah.
You know, because there's so many people out there. My fans are, you know, predominantly women, and very cultured, like Black, Latina, you know, and it's a wide range of cultures, but predominantly that's what it is. So me being able to make the music that I make speaks to them. You know, it speaks to a lot of times the child in them because they were raised on the same stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And then the cool thing is that it reaches even people who didn't necessarily grow up on that. But the beauty of music is like it's also blended now.
Yep.
We was talking about it earlier. You got Post Malone making country music now.
Right.
But it came from the rap world.
Yep.
Right? And so like everything it's like a blend of everything.
Yep.
And so my biggest thing is I just want to take the gifts that God gave me, make the music that I love, but it's got to bring people back to the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, because that's my purpose. That's my soul mission. It's like,
I love it.
How can I reconcile you back to God? And if you already are, how can I encourage your faith? If you don't know who he is, how can I make a song that's dope enough that you'll be like, man, this is fire.
Yeah.
I got to play this on repeat. You know, I got people who follow me today that probably aren't professed Christians, but they love my music. And I'm just sowing those seeds like, come to the Father, fall into love again. You don't need anything. He has it all to give.
Yeah.
Like, that's the mission that I'm on as an artist. And a lot of times it's going to look like not what people expect. You know, I'm going to go to the church. I'm going to go to Christian events, but God also has me going out to the world. You know, he has me going to places like LA, to these bigger cities. He's got me in studios where the craziest thing is he's put me in studios where people who are smoking weed in there, getting drunk, with women in there who are like dancing provocative. And because of who he's rooted me in, because the character he's developed in me, I don't desire any of that.
Yeah.
So like when I go into those rooms, a lot of times it's me trusting God to go into those rooms. I don't even want to go in them.
Yeah.
But God is leading me. He's like, no, you're going to go with this person and this person to this studio. And I need you to just be yourself. I need you to be who I created you to be. And then I'm able to have conversations where it break down people.
That's
like,
what I was going to say. I've even seen some of your posts where you've talked about that.
Yeah.
Like going into a room with people who are not believers.
Yeah.
And then everyone is crying and worshiping, like because you've shared part of your story.
Happened multiple times, multiple
that.
occasions. I've had shorties hit on me, try to like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like peep game. And I'm like, I'm going to give you the gospel right now. And I'm allowed the gospel.
What better way to shoot someone down?
I'm
right?
allowed the gospel to literally
Wow.
place any convict. Because I'm not going to tell you like, yo, I'm married, leave me alone.
Right.
Because I don't want to be rude to you, but I'm also going to shift. I'm creative.
Wow.
I'm going to shift that conversation and I'm going to start talking about all the things that God has done to me, for me. I'm going to start talking about my wife. I'm going to start talking about my kids. And eventually you're going to be like, I just hit on a married man. And then I don't want you to feel that shame and be like, dang, I should feel disgusting. No, I want you to see that God is still kind, even when you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
So good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's crazy.
What a cool perspective.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Like,
Absolutely.
This was great.
It was a good conversation.
Great.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Thank you for sharing with us and just your journey. And it's so fun now to meet you, but like to watch you on just, from afar on social media and see what you're doing.
Yeah.
It was fun to see behind like the limelight portion of it.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being so open with us too, vulnerable. I know that's not always easy, but
yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
yes,
This is
you're
good.
welcome. You're welcome. Come back anytime.
Yeah. I'm going to come back tomorrow.
Come back tomorrow.
Part two.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in to us today for Chris's story. I hope that you check out his music because, like we said, it really is good. I mean, we're not like, music buffs, but
back in the day, I was really cool when I was younger, like Yung Kriss, and I really like his music. So
I like it too. We think you will too. So check the description for all his links. You can follow him there. Until next time, grab a shield. We'll see you out there.
See you guys.